Hi, welcome to Boosting You, the ultimate wellness platform, and I'm Shirley McLean.
Hi, and I'm Dr. Sue Peacock. Today's topic I think is really exciting. Longevity. Not about living longer, but living better.
Yes, and Sue, I love that distinction. It's not about adding years to our life, it's about adding life to our years. How we care for ourselves today shapes the quality of our lives decades down the line.
Yeah, absolutely. I think sometimes people think that, longevity is kind of something that's out of their hands, really, or it's about luck or genetics. But actually, research shows that our lifestyle choices have a massive impact.
Exactly. Genetics play a role, of course, but our daily habits like nutrition, exercise, sleep, stress management, and even our mindset make a massive difference to how long and how well we live.
Yeah, and what's so empowering about all this is that we can actually choose to start to make those changes at any point, can't we? It's never too late to invest in your longevity.
And that's such an important message. I often talk about future you when I'm working with clients. Every healthy choice that you make today is a gift to your future self.
Oh, I love that. That's really cool, isn't it? Oh, yeah, and it doesn't have to be overwhelming, does it? Small daily actions add up. Things like going for a walk, eating more fruit and vegetables, maybe. My key one, getting enough sleep. I'm always telling my clients about that. Those things make a real difference, don't they, over time?
Yeah, absolutely. And let's not forget about the role of emotional and mental health. Studies show that strong social connections, a sense of purpose, and positive emotions like gratitude and joy are just as important as diet and exercise for longevity.
Absolutely, totally agree with that. It's about holistic well-being, isn't it? We are mind, body, and spirit. Exactly. Every single part of that needs nurturing if we want to thrive long term.
And that's why I encourage people to think beyond just physical health. Of course, it's important to move, your body and eat well, but it's equally important to foster that joy, that creativity, that connection and growth.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah. And it's about sustainability too, isn't it? Extreme diets or intense exercise regimes, they show quick results, but they're not sustainable, are they? So longevity is about creating those habits that we can maintain for life.
Absolutely. The goal isn't to be perfect, like we've said before, it's to be consistent. Doing small positive things every day creates a foundation for lasting health.
Yeah, and I think another important factor is about managing stress, isn't it? Because chronic stress is hugely damaging, isn't it, on our health, and it can accelerate aging. So finding ways to reduce our stress, be it through meditation, mindfulness, hobbies, or even just spending time in nature, that is a key part of longevity.
Yeah. And when we talk about mindset, it's worth noting that having a positive outlook can literally add years to your life. People who feel hopeful, who have that sense of purpose, tend to live longer and healthier lives. There's lots of studies that's been done on this as well.
Yeah, that's fascinating, isn't it? That our thoughts and our attitudes are just so powerful. I quite often encourage my clients to cultivate gratitude practices, simple things like writing just three things that they're grateful for each day. It could be big things, it could be something like, somebody made me a cup of tea today. That's great. Simple things are good things sometimes, because if we start looking for the things that we're grateful for, that positive things, it starts rewiring our brains for positivity and resilience.
Definitely. And speaking of resilience, that's a huge part of longevity too. Life is inevitably going to throw challenges at us all of the time, but building that emotional resilience, that ability to just bounce back from setbacks, that helps protect both our mental and our physical health, doesn't it?
Yeah, totally agree with that. Resilience is almost like a muscle, isn't it? We can think of it as a muscle. The more we practice, the stronger it gets. And it doesn't mean, we never feel sad or stressed. It just means that we know that we've got the tools to move through those feelings.
Absolutely. And one of the best ways to build resilience is through community. Having people that you trust, who support you, encourage you. It's absolutely vital for long, fulfilling life.
Yeah, absolutely. And that kind of brings us back, doesn't it, to that idea of intentional living, doesn't it? It's about making conscious choices that support our long-term well-being, both physically, mentally, and emotionally.
Yeah, and be kind to yourself. So often people give up on all the healthy habits because they just slip up once or twice. But the truth is, longevity, it's about the overall pattern, not about being perfect every single day.
Absolutely, yeah, exactly that, isn't it? My little mantra, progress, not perfection, as we constantly say throughout these Sting sessions. Every small choice does make a difference. It does matter. Every healthy meal, every walk you take, each night of good sleep, it all adds up to that life of vitality and joy.
Yeah, and I think it's also about keeping a sense of curiosity, which we've mentioned before, and adventure alive as we age, trying new things, learning new skills, exploring new interests. It keeps that brain young and life exciting.
Absolutely, totally agree with you. It's that sense of wonder, isn't it? And that continued growth, I think, is essential for vibrant aging because it keeps us mentally flexible and emotionally engaged as well, doesn't it?
Yeah. So for anyone listening today, remember it's never too late to invest in your longevity. Start small, choose one healthy habit to build this week, and then build from there.
Absolutely. And know that you are worth the investment and your future self will thank you for every kind choice that you're making today.
And thank you so much, Sue, for another beautiful boost of wellness. So let's all commit to living not just longer lives, but richer, fuller lives. And for now, it's bye from me.
And thank you everyone for listening. And you deserve that vibrant, joyful, long life. So start nurturing that today. And it's bye from me.